Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel, we're going to be talking about 1988 Scrooged and its brand new 4K Blu-ray that just came out from Paramount. So Scrooged, originally released back in November of 1988, is directed by Richard Donner, the guy who brought us Superman and Lethal Weapon, so you know this guy knows how to direct a movie, but he's never really worked in comedy until this film, and this one stars Bill Murray, one of the greatest comedians of all time, and this was his big comeback picture. He took 4 years off after the success of Ghostbusters. You know, he found that to be a phenomenon, and he just wanted to take a little break from acting, but they were able to drag him out of the woodwork and bring him back for this one, Scrooge. A retelling of the classic A Christmas Carol, bringing it to the modern age, to the 1980s, and for me, this is one of the best Christmas films of all time. It checks a lot of boxes for me. You know, it's a darker tale. It's not really one that's a very straightforward Christmas movie, one that it'll get a laugh out of the adults as well as the kids. Even though I saw this as a child, I always found it to be a little bit more creepy. The ghosts are a little bit more darker, especially the Ghost of Christmas Future. And you bring in Danny Elfman to do the score, a guy who's always working with Tim Burton. Actually, he worked with Tim Burton in 1988 as well on Beetlejuice, but
it's showtime.
But his score, it's very, very recognizable. It's got that dark tone to it, just like A Nightmare Before Christmas, and I really think it works with this film, combining that with Bill Murray's sense of humor. You know this movie going into it, but bringing it to the modern age is just something very special. Instead of it being about Scrooge, it's about Frank Cross. It's that Bill Murray character we've seen in other movies like Groundhog Day, but he was doing it here first. An asshole who needs to learn his lesson.
Excuse me, ma'am. I think you dropped something.
Please,
You don't almost just step on it, will you?
Burn it!
Bye-bye, Grandma.
Oh my God!
And man, does this guy learn a lesson, because Frank Cross at the beginning of this film, we see him, he is a real piece of garbage. He's treating everybody terrible. Bobcat Goldthwait's character actually comes up to him and tells him, you know, I think you're a little bit off base on this one. You're going to give somebody a heart attack with these ads. And he's like, all right, I'll take that into consideration. Then he immediately fires him on Christmas Eve, throws him out in the street. I mean, and by the way, his character, what an arc for him. He gets fired, he gets thrown out of his apartment by his wife and takes his daughter with him. Man, that's a real horrible day. And on Christmas Eve, and to think his wife turns her back on him just like that, even though it's not really his fault that he got fired. He's got an asshole of a boss. Unfortunate for him as well. And the ghosts in this movie, the three ghosts, the ghosts of Christmas Past, Christmas Future, and Christmas Present, all of them do a great job in this movie. The standout for me is the ghost of Christmas Past, played by David Johansen of the New York Dolls, or many people might know him, including myself, as Buster Poindexter, the guy singing. Yeah, he's great in this movie. I love his character, and as that dirty cab driver, bringing Bill Murray back to the past. The Ghost of Christmas Present is also really awesome. I love how she's just beating the crap out of him. Really try and show him the error of his ways. Like, deep down in this movie, that's one thing I love about this movie. It's very heartfelt, and that's why you bring Karen Allen and those big, beautiful eyes of hers. Her character doesn't get the big arc like Bill Murray's character. You know, she's there to be sweet the entire time. She is such an innocent, loving, caring person, and she really does care about Bill Murray's character, but he's too focused on his job and being the best in the field that he's in, and he does get to the top of his field, but unfortunately it's at the cost of his personal life. And you can just see that that's weighing on him. And bringing Karen Allen back into his life to warm him up and just show him that there is more to life than just being rich and famous. If only some people in 2023 could learn that lesson. But unfortunately, they won't. We have to get the Ghosts of Christmas Present, Future, and Past to teach them that lesson. But Bill Murray learns that lesson, and it really does culminate in a great final act. A great sequence that I love. The end of this movie is very awesome. Bill Murray's breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience. He says, "Feed me, Seymour," which I just love because he's actually in that film as well. And then he's talking to the audience. If you were in the theaters back in 1988, he's talking to the audience in the movie theater. I just love all of that stuff. This movie is absolutely hysterical. There's a great Richard Pryor joke that I wonder if modern audiences even pick up in this film.
You know, I thought you were Richard Pryor.
You know, the way it's shot, you bring in Martin Scorsese's usual cinematographer and Michael Chapman, so you know this movie looks absolutely gorgeous. And Richard Donner, for the most part, even though apparently him and Bill Murray didn't get along because Bill Murray loves to improv a lot of his lines, whereas Richard Donner's usually used to making very big, loud action movies, apparently their styles conflicted with each other, which created a pretty disastrous set for a lot of people, and Bill Murray doesn't look back on this movie too fondly, which is strange because I love Bill Murray, and he doesn't look back on a lot of his movies too fondly. He seems to have bad experiences wherever he goes, but whatever, the art's the art, and it came out a great film. One of my personal favorite Christmas movies. This would actually be number 3 on my Christmas movie list. I can watch this movie in July, which is just absolutely incredible because it's just that entertaining of a film. It flies by. It's under 100 minutes long, so the movie just breezes by you, and it is a fantastic Christmas film, and I'm really glad that I started off the Christmas season this year with Scrooged. But anyway, guys, let's talk about this 4K Blu-ray that just came out from Paramount. But before we do that, if you are a fan of Let's Talk and you want to continue to support this channel, nothing supports this channel more than by you just simply liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and possibly joining the membership level of this channel. You just got to click that join button or click the link in the description, but it's absolutely no pressure on you guys to do that. Let's talk about this 4K. Well, here it is, Scrooged on 4K Blu-ray, and I actually compared this to my 2013 Blu-ray that I had, which was a very, very, very bare bones. This had no extras on it. They promoted it like it had extras on it, but that extra was the movie trailer, which there was no other way I could see it but on this Blu-ray, right? So I compared it to this new 2023 4K Blu-ray from Paramount. I got it with the slipcover, and this slipcover, very unique. I really love that Paramount did this because it's actually got different artwork underneath. You never see them do that too much, and I really do appreciate them doing that, so you get the best of both worlds. Now, I know this is going to disappoint some people, but when you come inside, it's a 1-disc set, just one 4K, which is really strange because this week we also got Trading Places on 4K, and this is a 2-disc set. You get a Blu-ray and a 4K Blu-ray, which makes me think that, you know what, it really just depends if Paramount has like extra discs from their previous releases lying around. They'll just throw them in there, so maybe they don't have any Scrooge previous releases on Blu-ray, but luckily I had it, so I did the comparison with that Blu-ray. And the audio track, it's the same exact audio track. It's a DTS HD 5.1. So I've heard this track before. It's very, very solid. Like I said, I love the score to this movie. Danny Elfman's score really fits the tone of this movie, this dark comedic tone of this film. I think it works very, very, very well for this movie. And to hear it coming through all the channels, you know, it doesn't make great use of all the channels, but the score itself comes in crisp and clear, works so well with the movie. All the dialogue comes in clean and crisp. You definitely have no issues with it. I do think that this movie would have definitely benefited from a brand new audio track, whether it be a DTSX or a Dolby Atmos track, just because it's starting to sound a little dated now. But one thing I have to compliment Paramount on, and I always want to compliment Paramount on doing this, the amount of different language options that they give you to listen and in subtitles is just matched by no other studio. They give you so much. I mean, a full screen of options. So no matter what language you speak or whatever language you want to read subtitles in, you have an option for it more than likely, which I really appreciate. The accessibility options by Paramount really are matched by no other studio, and I have to compliment them for that, even if I wish they would have gave us a brand new audio track on here. Now, the extras are great. It's just a bunch of featurettes that were previously released on a DVD. They actually weren't on my Blu-ray, which is very strange, because these featurettes are really, really good. If you would have edited them together, it would have been about an hour and a half making of documentary, so it's just kind of making you do the work to watch them all instead of having it edited together into one big documentary, but still really appreciate that. It seems like a real honest opinion of how it was making the movie. Richard Donner seems like a really cool guy every time I've seen him in interviews, and obviously Bill Murray's Bill Murray. And there's even a couple little clips of him like promoting the movie, I guess, and it's really funny. It's like him out of character as Bill Murray talking about how much the movie cost to make, bringing him out of acting again. Just absolutely love that. It's a very much a wink and a nod at the camera, and I appreciated those little segments. They were really, really low quality, but they are really funny. And now that brings us to the visuals, and the visuals are the standout. First of all, they fixed the original aspect ratio, because the original aspect ratio of this film was 1.85, but the previous Blu-rays had it in 1.78, so they were stretching it out a little bit, so now they're able to clean that up as well. And then we're adding HDR10 and Dolby Vision over the visuals as well. Now, the previous Blu-ray that I have, the visuals were really not that bad. Yeah, so that means that the source material for this film is fantastic. So you're not going to see the biggest jump to 4K Blu-ray, but the visuals are still just absolutely stunning. Some of the best visuals you can imagine on the 4K format. You know, Paramount, I think they have like 2 teams working for them. Last year at this time, we got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on 4K from them, and they just ruined that scan. But now this one keeps a low amount of film grain. It looks like what top-tier Paramount 4Ks are supposed to look like. You know, this looks like the studio that gave us Top Gun Maverick, not the studio that gave us Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So from a visual standpoint, it's absolutely stunning. But But there are a couple scenes in this movie, a couple interior shots. I don't know if maybe they just had different lighting or the source material is just not that great. Mainly when Bill Murray goes to visit Karen Allen at the soup kitchen that she volunteers at or she runs herself. When he goes and visits her there, the skin just looks a little bit off at that point, and the coloring looks a little bit off. Like there's that scene and one other scene where you might look at the skin and you might think it looks a little bit off, and it has the same issue on the Blu-ray, so that makes me think that it is a source material issue, because it's very strange when you have a couple scenes mixed in that don't look as good as the rest of the 4K. So that always leads me to believe that it's a source material thing and not an actual issue with Paramount's transfer. So overall, I really do think that this is a phenomenal 4K Blu-ray that is definitely worth your time and money. And Paramount has been pricing their back catalog of 4Ks at a really reasonable price of about $19.99. And if they're only going to give us one disc, even though they gave us two at Trading Places, but if they are going to only give us one disc, I really appreciate them pricing it accordingly, but they really did give us a lot. The fact that we got extras on this disc, we got a big visual upgrade, and the fact that they gave us really nice packaging with a different slipcover from the box art underneath makes it more valuable for you to get the slipcover. I can really appreciate that. So how would I grade this on a score of 1 to 10? I still got to give this one a pretty damn solid 9 out of 10. I would have liked an upgrade to the audio. That's really my biggest complaint here, but other than that, everything else is just firing on all cylinders. And for Christmas time, this is one you're going to want to watch with the family. I can recommend you upgrade that previous Blu-ray, and for $20, it's kind of a steal, really, or at least priced perfectly. I don't know if it's a steal. It would be a steal if you got this for $10, but $20, it's priced pretty damn perfect in my opinion. And guys, it's also Monday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. So I'm going to kick this one over to Future John, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And that is correct. It's Monday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. Every single video that we put out on Friday, we ask you guys 2 digital code giveaway questions. All you got to do is answer one of those in the comment section. As long as you do that, you come back to this video right here every single Monday. We put your name on a magic wheel, we spin that bad boy 2 times, the 2 names it lands on, they have their choice of the digital codes that you've seen on your screen before you today. And also today we're going to have a 3rd wheel spin. That wheel spin is only going to be for the Suicide Squad digital code. It expires at the end of December, so we got to get that one off the list. So if you were the 3rd wheel spin winner, unfortunately you don't have any choices. You only get the Suicide Squad, and if you don't want that, we'll just put it back on the wheel next week and we'll spin this one all over again. And what did I ask you guys for this week's digital code giveaway questions? I asked you guys, what was your favorite Coen Brothers film, and what was your favorite dark comedy? Because the Coen Brothers love to dabble in dark comedy. You know, a lot of their films have those certain themes for sure, which I absolutely love. I love dark comedies. They're some of my favorite films ever. You gotta have a real dark sense of humor for it, and unfortunately I do, or fortunately, I'm not too sure. I can make a joke out of anything. It's bad in certain situations, is the best way to put that. And for a lot of you guys, you picked Fargo just like me. I saw a lot for The Big Lebowski, and now I understand why it's so beloved. I mean, people have the church of the dude at this point, so I understand why that one is one of the most loved. I would put that at my number 3. I only saw one person pick A Serious Man, which really surprised me, because that one, every time I watch it, is going up and up and up on my list. But right now, it's still Fargo and No Country for Old Men, and you guys actually, for the most part, No Country for Old Men and Fargo are 1 and 2, so you guys have very similar tastes to me. And as far as dark comedies go, those were just all over the place. I was very surprised at how many people picked Pulp Fiction, because I do consider that a dark comedy. That there's not too many movies out there where you can laugh at somebody getting shot in the face because he says they hit a bump. Not too many movies can do that. So Pulp Fiction, obviously near and dear to my heart. It's my 2nd favorite film of all time. It's the movie that got me in the film. So anytime you guys pick Pulp Fiction, it's never the wrong answer. But enough of me rambling on. Let's spin this magic wheel and see who our 2 lucky winners are. First wheel spin coming up.
Taking the elevator, going up. Got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top, keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up, I'm coming up.
All right, Teddy Graham. Gonna remove you. Spin again.
Whoa, taking the elevator, going up. Got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top, keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up, I'm coming up.
GOT Amelia. All right, GOT, we're going to remove you as well.
This is for the Suicide Squad.
Taking the elevator, going up. Got a lot of ground to cover, and I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top, keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up, I'm coming up.
And Andrew GG.
Well, the winners of the regular digital code giveaway, GOT Amelia and Teddy Graham. You guys know how this works. Reach out to me at letstalkentmt@gmail.com, or you can reach me at Twitter/X, Instagram, or Facebook. Direct message me which of the digital codes you want, and as long as the other winner didn't take it, that digital code is all yours. Now, Andrew GG, you are the winner of the Suicide Squad digital code, so you don't really have any options but that. If you'd like that digital code, reach out to me the same way as GOT Amelia and Teddy Graham. But if you don't want that digital code, you don't have to reach out at all, and we will just spin the wheel a third time again next week. And we got a lot coming up for you guys this week on the channel. Plenty of great 4K Blu-ray reviews. Not only do we have Scrooged today, but we got Trading Places, the Last Picture Show from the Criterion Collection, and one of my favorite movies ever, Terms of Endearment from Paramount's Presents line, coming to 4K Blu-ray. I'll also have a new movie review up this week. I'm not too sure yet if it's going to be Thanksgiving or The Holdovers. Whichever one I'm able to get into a screening for this week, that's the one I'm going to see, because I got a very long week on my regular job, so unfortunately I'll have to go one day after work, and there's not too many times after 10 o'clock at night, so I'm at the mercy of the theaters at that point. So there'll be plenty of great content out for you guys. And if you guys want to continue to support the channel, nothing supports the channel more than by just simply liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or you can become a channel member like our 3 producers at this point, John Doe Juggalo, Frank Rodriguez, and Jason Martin. I want to thank the 3 of you so much for being channel producers. I want to thank my channel director. The only director we have right now is Kevin Kruger. Thank you guys all so much for your support. It's very, very much appreciated. We also have the Friends of the Channel tier, which, you guys can join that. It's $2.99 a month. Whatever tier works best for you guys. You can check that all out at the join button below or in the link in the description, so you can see all the perks that each tier gets. But if you don't want to support us that way, again, it's absolutely no pressure. The best way to just keep supporting this channel is just by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, getting out in those streets, and telling your friends about us. And then we will be seeing you around.